out to the projects yet? Okay. So we can go back to grab our projects.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm going to go up until about 40 today, and then at 40 I'm going to call it a day. And then I want to talk extra credit projects because we graded them last night. I want to hand back your formatives, and I've got other stuff to hand back from people that weren't here last week when we handed stuff back. Okay, so lots of stuff to get done today, so that's why I'm going to quit somewhere right around that 40 time. Happy National Candy Day. There's a pile of it up here on the table. If you want to come up and grab some halfway through, that's fine too. I'm okay with that. You will be having a formative this week Friday. Okay, so formative this week Friday, and a test then next week Friday. So a test or a formative on the 7th, test on the 14th. Okay. So with that being said, today we are going to add the last of the 4 numbers, and that's going to be the horizontal shift. Okay? So the only thing that the horizontal shift is in control of is the start. Okay? That's the only thing that C is in control of, is where you start. Everything else is controlled by one of the other 3 numbers. Okay? So the period then would be controlled by the B value. Okay? So then that would control the end. A is amplitude, so that's going to be how high up, how far down, okay? If it's flipped over or not. D is your vertical shift, that's going to control the middle. Okay? And then a combination of all of those gets you all of the other stuff that we have. Okay? Now, I will tell you that because C here is inside a set of parentheses, that gets that goofy mathematical, I don't want to call it rule, but it's that goofy mathematical thing where you need to think opposite of the look. What I mean by that is if that set of parentheses in there looks like, I'm just going to make something up. If it looks like x minus 7 pi over 9, if that's what it looks like in there, then you are going to start, or your start will be at positive 7 pi over 9. It's opposite of the look. It looks like it's minus 7 pi over 9. But your start then becomes at positive 7 pi over 9. If it looks like x plus 7 pi over 9, then your start would be at negative 7 pi over 9. Okay? It's opposite thinking because it's inside that set of parentheses. Really, it's opposite thinking because the formula is minus C. Okay? And so we always got to make it be negative. So C in this case would be 7 pi over 9 in the first one. In the second one, it would be minus negative 7 pi over 9. Kind of deconstructing that minus a negative thing. Good on that. Okay, let's get into it. C is going to horizontally shift, so we're going to not necessarily start at 0. So it might not help to draw your graph or your axes first anymore because you're not starting at 0 anymore. Okay, all right? So that's why you'll see goofy axes throughout all the different examples that we have. Okay, so our first example is y equals cosine of the quantity x minus pi over 3. Tell me something that I know. My domain is always all real numbers. Tell me another thing that I know.
The range is negative 1 to 1.
Negative 1 to 1. So that means my high is 1, my low is negative 1, which would put my middle at 0 and my amplitude at 1. From there, there. Okay? Tell me something else that I know.
It starts at pi over 3.
It does start at pi over 3 because we think opposite of what's inside here. So that looks like negative pi over 3. So it starts at positive pi over 3. What is my period? 2 pi, because it's 2 pi divided by b. b is 1, so that means it's going to be 2 pi. Okay? Now here, to find the end, is where you've got to do some extra math. The end is going to be the start plus the period. Okay? So your end is the start plus the period. So my start was at pi over 3. My period was 2 pi. But instead of writing it as 2 pi, what should I really write it as? 6 pi over 3, because I got to have common denominators there. So what's 1 pi over 3 plus 6 pi over 3? 7 pi over 3. So I'm going to end at 7 pi over 3. Okay? Regular cosine curve, agree? Not flipped over, agree? Okay, so regular cosine curve starts up on high. Now, that's a regular cosine curve. Do you agree with that? I saw a lot of this on the formative, and I marked it wrong. I just want you to know. Okay, lot of that. Okay, it doesn't go straight down and then straight across. Okay, it's a smooth curve that goes that way. So just so you are aware, that is going to be marked wrong, and you're going to say, "But it looks like it," and I'm going to say, "Oh no, it doesn't." Okay, all right. Then we can fill in what we need to fill in. We went all the way up to 1. Our middle was 0, and our our low was negative 1. We started at pi over 3. Notice how we're starting at pi over 3. That means my y-axis cannot be on that edge of my curve. Okay? Because that's pi over 3. We could make a dashed line there. Okay, but that would be the only dash that we couldn't be solid. We ended at 7 pi over 3. So I need this point, I need this point, and I need that point. Okay? 1 pi over 3 plus 7 pi over 3. 8 pi over 3 divided by 2. 4 pi over 3. So that's my middle. 1 pi over 3 plus 4 pi over 3. 5 pi over 3 divided by 2. 5 pi over 6. If we can't divide the numerator by 2, we got to multiply the denominator by 2. Okay? So this would be 5 pi over 6. 4 pi over 3 plus 7 pi over 3. 11 pi over 3 divided by 2. 11 pi over 6.
So whenever we do these graphs, should we always have like on the horizontal line, we should always have 5 points?
Yep, you gotta always have 5. Yep. Start first quarter, halfway point, third quarter, and the end. Yep. And vertically, you always need 3. High, middle, and low. And that's that. See, and that's the problem. We've always been doing 0, so you've always just had that as a 0. But now we're not doing 0 to start anymore, and so now we've got to add that 5th number. Want to try one on your own, or do you want me to do another one? Try it on your own? Okay. All right. Try that one on your own. Owen. Suddenly I got something stuck in my throat. Take the easy one first. Domain, all real numbers. Amplitude is 2. Middle is 0, which means we go up to 2, down to -2. Makes my range 2 to -2. Started at, I got to think oppositely here.
Negative pi over 4.
So that's negative pi over 4. My period is still 2 pi, which would make negative pi over 4 plus, instead of writing it as 2 pi, I should write it as 8 pi over 4. That means my end is at 7 pi over 4. It is a sine curve that is upside down. It's been flipped. I started at negative pi over 4. I ended at 7 pi over 4, which means my halfway point would be -1 plus 7 is 6. Divided by 2 is 3 pi over 4. -1 plus 3 is 2. Divided by 2 is 1 pi over 4. 3 plus 7 is 10. Divided by 2 is 5 pi over 4. Vertically, I went up to 2. My middle was 0, and I went down to -2. Do we agree? Anybody not agree? Okay. All right. Let's try another one. All right, so the easy one is the domain. It's still all reals. My amplitude is 1. My middle is 0. Means it goes all the way up to 1, all the way down to -1. Makes my range be that. I'm starting at negative pi. My period is 2 pi, which makes my end then be positive pi. Agree with that? Okay. Regular cosine curve, not flipped. Started at negative pi, ended at pi, which means we had 0 in the middle. Halfway would be negative pi over 2. Halfway would be positive pi over 2. Went all the way up to 1. Went all the way down to -1. Agree. Okay. All right. Love it. Now, the curveball that we can throw at you is remembering that our functions should look like that, right? Which means that if I take this and I break this down a little bit, that means that that part right there should be B with it factored out. We should have a set of parentheses inside there. Okay? If you don't have a set of parentheses inside your argument, parentheses, in your original problem, then you have to factor that out. So on this particular one, the -3 would stay. It would stay sign. Now inside of my argument parentheses, I'm going to have to factor out that pi right there. So then I'm going to factor out that pi, and that's going to leave me with x plus 1. Agree with that? Okay? Now that it's factored out, now you can go through and we can do everything that we need to do. So now the domain is all real numbers. My middle is at 0. That's this one that's on the outside behind. My amplitude is 3, which means then that we go all the way up to 3, all the way down to -3. My start, I'm going to think oppositely here, is going to be -1. My period is going to be 2 pi divided by pi, which is going to just be 2, which means then that I would end at +1. Give you a moment to let that sink in. Yes, ma'am. Because I think oppositely inside my parentheses. And you have to factor first. On all the other ones, Justin, on all the other ones, we had it in this form already. Oh, okay. This one wasn't factored out. So I had to factor out that pi, which made that C value be +1.
It's just period's just 2.
Period is just 2. Because your B value is pi. Huh? Sine curve, but it's flipped. It started at -1. It ended at +1. Halfway would be 0. Halfway would be -1/2. Halfway would be +1/2. Maximum of 1. Middle of 0. Minimum of -1. Oops, it's 3. Sorry about that. Yes, you are correct. My fault. 3 and -3. Good? All right. Try one of those on your own. Agree with factoring out the 2? Makes it x minus pi over 8. All reals for your domain. 2 for your amplitude. 0 for your middle. Oh, sorry, amplitude should be 1. Correction. I was looking at the 2 in the wrong way. One for your amplitude. Where do we start?
Positive pi over 8.
Positive pi over 8. What's my period? Nope.
Pi.
Pi. So where do I end then? Nine pi over 8. Yep. One plus 9 is 10, divided by 2 is 5.
Did you leave it?
1 plus 5 is 6, divided by 2 is 3. 5 plus 9 is 14, divided by 2 is 7. Agree? Let's put it all together. Go for it.
Yeah, the middle. Oh wait, no. The 4 is the amplitude. The range is -6, +2, because the D is -2, which is the center. This graph really does not represent this well, but I think it's fine because I can do it and it'll be fine. Just don't look at the fact that it's like proportionally bigger at the top. Just don't look at that. Oh, because
Agree with all of my numbers.
oh, okay. Yes. I was like, I thought that's what. Yeah. That makes sense.
Cosine starts up high, not flipped over, ends up high. We started at pi over 2, so that means my vertical, my y-axis, would be over there. We went from 2 down to -6, and our middle was at -2. So then that allows me to figure out where my horizontal axes can go, which would be up there. We started at pi over 2. We ended at 9 pi over 2. Halfway, 1 plus 9 is 10, divided by 2 is 5. Halfway, 1 plus 5 is 6, divided by 2 is 3. Halfway, 5 plus 9 is 14, divided by 2 is 7. Questions, comments, concerns, clarifications? No? Perfect timing. Ching! So now what's going to happen is I'm going to talk unit circle projects, and I'm going to hand back your formatives and anything else that I may have. You can be working up now until problem number 12 in your homework packet.
It's so stuck in my head, I can't.